What is up, everybody? We are back with a match panel reaction, or a fan panel reaction after Manchester City 2, Liverpool 2. A game that kind of tells us everything and nothing about where the title is headed at the end of the season. Before we get underway and I ask the guys their opinion, I want to give a shout out to our sponsors today, Surfshark. Don't forget, 83% off and 3 months additional free with the best VPN provider on the market using uncrackable encryption, the most secure VPN protocols. One subscription runs across all your devices, and the link is in the description below. You can use the code ANFIELDAGENDA at checkout. Now, I want to go to Steve first and foremost because I haven't seen you in a while, my man. How's my fellow bald-headed brother?
I am good, my friend. Yeah, really good to be back. I've missed you.
We've missed you too, sir. We absolutely have. As the voice of reason, Steve, give us your interpretation of those 90 minutes.
I mean, not particularly enjoyable. Yeah, as tense as you could imagine it being. If we'd have gone in at halftime 2 or 3 down, you couldn't really have argued all that much, could you? We were so far off it first half, I thought. They kept, it was nothing, nothing particularly subtle, was it? They just kept getting in the same way every single time, mostly in behind Trent. But, I felt sorry for him, to be honest, because he's getting absolutely slaughtered on social media, but he just got no help. Normally Henderson gives them a lot more help, but in the second half, they shut off guys like De Bruyne and Bernardo Silva that were playing the passes in behind him, and they didn't. Maybe dropped off 5 yards as well. And yeah, looked a completely different team. But yeah, a draw, probably a fair result. If I was a City fan, I'd probably be thinking, we could have nicked another one in the first half. But with 10 to go, I said to my mate, I was watching it with a good mate of mine who's a big City fan, and I said, actually, Gary Neville in commentary said something about Liverpool wanting to win. Actually, it was just really important with 10 to go we didn't lose, because being 4 behind obviously is a lot worse than just being 1 behind, and there's a lot more football to be played. So all in all, yeah, massively tense, not particularly enjoyable. Bad first half, much better second half, and yeah, we go on.
Kyle, in that last 10 minutes, as Steve said there, and we'll come back and do the team selection and all that in a moment, but you've got this horrible decision of, do you go gung-ho, balls out, trying to make something happen and maybe get turned over and get caught in the counter, as Steve was kind of saying there, last 10 minutes. What was your thoughts? Did we take the safe option, live to fight for another day, or would you like to see us go a bit more gung-ho?
I think Klopp tried to do the best of both worlds with the timing of his substitutions, namely with Keita and Bobby wait until a little bit later to bring him on. Personally, I think the substitutions were fine. We were trying at the end there to go a little gung-ho, but you saw we actually, once Bobby came on, we had every man behind the ball. It was actually Man City that were really trying to score at the end there. And thank God Mahrez, chipped that over the bar. I think Van Dijk maybe got a little foot to it, but dude, I'm still stressed from that game. I legitimately, during my stream, thought I was having a heart attack. I had to do some yoga breathing, my chest hurt. And I'm not joking. I was like, wow, I actually think something's happening. So I had to calm myself down, because that first half was just god awful. I haven't seen us play like that scared in years. And the second half definitely came out a little bit better. Klopp did his normal, you guys figure it out. He was out after halftime before the boys. And, we came out, we made it happen early. First 10 minutes was kind of all us, but then, City, came back into the game. I think a lot of credit's got to be given to City. And I'm not going to slash any players on social media like Steve was saying about Trent. I think both of our fullbacks were pretty poor today. We were getting stretched. They were exposing the channels, especially in the first half. I mean, they were just switching play constantly, opening us up. And, dude, just stressful. I'm actually happy to come away with a draw. Of course, I wanted the win, but it's not a loss. And now we pretty much have it in our own hands to go ahead and try to win the remainder of the games and hopefully put us in a good position to take the title home.
Paddy, can you see now why all week I wanted Keita to play and I wanted us to be proactive and on the front foot? Because I knew what they were capable of down our right-hand side. And it's not because Trent can't defend. It's because
I thought you were going to say, can you see now why us older Liverpool fans are bald then?
Yeah,
Now, listen,
look, the stress of that 90 minutes will certainly do that to you as well. But yeah, I felt like, and somebody made a comment to me, Paddy, in our live chat, that maybe the game was a bit too fast for Henderson.
Yeah, I mean, that was without question single-handedly the most stressed I've been for a Liverpool game ever. Before I was like, wow, this is like a Champions League final sort of nerve. But that game, I didn't enjoy a second of it. And what Kai was saying, I remember after I celebrated the Jota goal, I genuinely thought I was going to pass out because I screamed so hard, and I was just the amount, like, yourself, the chat going 90. It was just horrific. I didn't enjoy a second of that. I too was campaigning for Kate at the start. But I think I want to correct. It's not an anti-Henderson thing. It was just like I just wanted Keita. I said I wanted this. I think Keita helps us go to the Etihad and start on the front foot. And as you said, be proactive. I thought Henderson, he was okay defensively, maybe a little bit, but he doesn't. I think he lacks a lot going forward these days. He's a bit off the boil in his attacking compared to a Naby Keita. I think Henderson's has done a job for us. But I think as a footballer, I think Naby Keita is a better footballer. He would have been more. He would have helped with the intricacies of the final third. And yeah, but listen, yeah, I seen man of the match shouts. I can't think of one Liverpool man of the match. It was just all a bit horrific.
On our poll that we ran, Sadio won the man of the match. Steve, I want to just speak about one aspect today, which we've been very good at all season, but City found a way of doing today, and that was exploiting our high line. They are unbelievable technicians, as we know, but they got in behind us today at occasion, more than we would have felt comfortable with.
I mean, let's just take a minute to remind ourselves that this is a phenomenal Manchester City team. So they're getting in behind us, but it's not like it's Wigan getting in behind us, or a team at the bottom of the Premier League getting in behind. This is Man City with arguably the best, one of the best managers of all time, who's been scheming at this game for weeks and weeks and weeks, looking at all the little ways he can exploit us. And if you asked any Liverpool fan, how do you exploit Liverpool? You'd probably say in behind the fullbacks, wouldn't you? That's not a surprise. It's not a shock to anyone that. We've seen it before with City, haven't we? I remember a game at Anfield a couple of years ago with Leroy Sané, got in behind Trent over and over and over and over, and so it's not a big surprise that's what happened. What I was a bit disappointed about was the way they kind of got exposed, a little bit too easily for me. Henderson and Thiago on the other side, Mane and Salah didn't give them a lot of protection. And yeah, first half, like the boys said, first half was really poor. And like I said earlier, we could easily have been 2 or 3 down at halftime. It wouldn't have flattered City if we were 2 or 3 down. So yeah. So that said, I'm a bit more. I think I enjoyed it a bit more than Paddy. By the looks of it. Paddy, you look like you've been, I don't know, 12 rounds of Mike Tyson. Like you look.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't be the fittest gentleman anyway.
You look like how all us men feel after you've had a sneaky one when the missus pops out and you're just dawning what a snob you are. That's the look. I know that look, Paddy. I've been there. That's the look.
Yeah.
Do you know what? Second half, they were much better. They pushed on the front foot. The forward players, they pressed a lot easier because City were getting out way, way, way too easily. And then I was watching the game and I was thinking, how hard is it to mark this City side? You've got, if you're a centre back, and we know, Matip's not the quickest in the world, and reads the game well. But if you're a centre back and you're looking at who to mark, you want a big centre forward. If you're Joe Matip, you want a big centre forward in front of you. And City just don't have that. They have 4 or 5 that are just zipping around you. And it just must be a nightmare. So it's easy to go in too hard on Liverpool. I think we probably need to just, Henderson wasn't amazing, but we probably need to just maybe balance that out with saying that we're playing against a really, really, really good team with a coach that had obviously figured out a plan that's worked for him before.
What I will say, Kyle, is I feel like me and you speak about this gentleman a lot, mate, is Alisson Becker, again, early doors with a big save at the start of the game. I mean, stood up to be counted again today, Ali.
He's so good. He steps up when we need him, especially in the 1v1 situations. But like Steve was saying, I mean, even if Alisson wasn't stepping up, Man City had so many chances today, and that's what worries me. Not to downplay this, how great of a side Man City is, but just the ease at which they were getting in behind, especially in the first half. Our goal as a defense shouldn't be to make Alisson work. You know, I mean, there were points Allison was just stressing me out. Or excuse me, the defense was stressing me out, and Allison had to work extra hard. They had plenty of shots, tons of corners. But again, I mean, that's why we paid the money for Allison, for him to step up in those kind of situations and do that, right? Because we haven't had that before. And to be fair, he is probably the reason why we ended up drawing this game, you know, as well as those brief moments in the link-up play going forward between Trent, Salah, great ball from Salah to Mane for the finish. I mean, that's what's crazy about these kinds of matches. There's so much quality, and neither team wants to lose. So you have to take these brief moments where you have opportunities to score. And that's pretty much what City were doing, and that's what we did. We really only had like 3 or 4 chances, right? Jota kind of got the ball stuck under his feet with a great tackle there in the first half. And then in the second half, we had a quick moment right out of the gate, and we capitalized on it. And that tied the match. I mean, I'd rather walk away looking at it in a positive light, like, yeah, we did take our chances, than look at all the negatives, because clearly there's a lot that we could take from this game, saying that our high line is definitely something that could be exposed by a team of Man City's quality. And who knows, we might see Man City like 2 or 3 more times this season. Like, we got them again in the cup, then we can possibly play them in the Champions League. I mean,
why are you reminding me? I don't want to be reminded.
I'm just saying, we got to learn.
That's going to finish poor Paddy off.
No, dude, my heart's not going to be able to take
Paddy,
it.
I'll give you a happy moment. How nice was it for the VAR offside against Sterling?
Yeah, I know, but I said it, like, I was like offside. I knew, I was never in doubt. I was like, surely that's offside. But yeah, it was lovely to see, especially because it was Sterling. But I was confident it was offside. Yeah, it was nice. And now it's going to be the whole, oh, you're so lucky, Liverpool, blah, blah, blah. Like, it was offside. Like, I don't know why everyone's crying about it, but that was an enjoyable moment.
Dude, I'm pissed about the missed corner call, even though it really didn't. I mean, that was just obvious, blatantly obvious to everyone. And he just doesn't give it. So, I mean, I don't know. A lot of missed calls.
Steve, you know I love a rant about referees, mate, but I have to say I thought they were top notch today.
Yeah, they were right, weren't they? This is what I said. I think I said to you on our WhatsApp group. Like, I don't know. I don't get too worked up over these things, like, because I was not dwelling too much on the referees. I was surprised the PGMOL put them two in that position, given the history, given who they are, given where they're from, all that stuff. And you see Michael Oliver, refereeing Norwich v Burnley this afternoon. Like, what's that about? He should be in that game. But I didn't. Yeah, I thought they did a decent job. They were, there wasn't really too much on the VAR, other than the Fabinho tackle on Bernardo was probably edging towards orangey, wasn't it? It was. I don't know if it was full on red, but it was, getting above yellow a little bit. But yeah, in the first half, talking about the high line, I felt like a lot of the issues that we had were homemade problems. Trying to play the ball out when these two attacks are just too good to let defenders do that. And how many times did we get caught on the ball in our own final third? Alisson. I know Alisson made a couple of really good saves, including that one early on, but he his distribution first half was a bit shaky. Put a couple of midfielders in some pretty dodgy situations, and so they'll need to think about that if for the game next week, and then obviously if it goes to the Champions League as well. There's a lot to work on, because City pose you problems that are different to any other team with the way they play, don't they? And they'd obviously, well, like I say, I was going to say City done the homework, but this high line and getting in behind the fullbacks, it's not rocket science, is it? We could have probably said that's the way to get out our defense, but hey ho, no harm done. We crack on.
I'm trying to decide if I got to Paddy with one thing and Kyle with another. Let's go this way. Let's go to Paddy first. So Paddy, at half-time, I think we're all unhappy. We all want a reaction. In fact, mate, I'm furious, and I'll get to that with Kyle in a second as to why. But the response at the start of the second half, that goal, Salah didn't do too much in this game from an attacking sense, mate. But I, as a lay person, when Salah picked up that ball, I thought the ball down the line to Jota, inside little slip ball, was the ball, because I'm not Mohamed Salah. He looked up and he's seen the movement of Mane. And I thought it was an exceptional bit of vision from Mo and a great finish from Sadio on his birthday to get a goal. And I was delighted we answered back that quickly. What a great goal.
Yeah, absolutely. Funnily enough, I missed it on stream. I went to close my window, and I came back to celebration. So that was
Rookie mistake.
typical enough. Yeah, but no, listen, I obviously have seen it again. Yeah, it was phenomenal. I think, I think that early reply in the second half sold me dreams. I was like, right, here we go. We're going to turn it on now and win this game. But no, it was a phenomenal and imperative response, because if you had to start it slow again there, City could have went and won that game. But yeah, that was phenomenal. Lovely by Salah, who, yeah, you know what, he still wasn't his usual best today, but he was better than he has been in previous games. I thought he was slightly better. And yeah, it was a lovely finish by prime Mane finish. And yeah, that was a great goal. And it was very important. That definitely probably saved the loss, like replying that early in the second half.
I was very, very annoyed, Kyle, at that first half performance. Mostly because, again, to use a boxing analogy, if you go and fight in somebody else's backyard, you want to rip the title out of their hands. You don't want to leave it to the judges. You don't want to leave it to the chance. And I thought that we started off that game like a team who were a little bit nervy. And I wanted us to be like rabid dogs, like straining at the end of a leash to be unleashed at the start of that game. But I felt like we started off too passively.
Yeah, and I said this earlier. I mean, we were just playing scared. I can't remember the last time I've seen us play scared, and it seems like we only play that way against City. I mean, really, you go back to maybe like right after COVID ended was the last time I saw it. But that pissed me off more than anything. Like you, Craig. I mean, I agree. I mean, seeing Van Dijk make poor passes, seeing Trent, his first like 4 passes were just completely horrible. Just gave the ball away. Fabinho getting dispossessed. I mean, everything. There was no standout play really in the first half, with the exception of like the one link up all the way down the pitch for the goal, in my opinion, at least. I was very frustrated. I did think Klopp was going to make substitutions at halftime. I'm actually glad he didn't. I think he really just, when he doesn't do that, it shows confidence in the team. And I think he felt confident with his selection. But again, that worries me that we came out like that. Like being the team that we are, potentially the best team in Europe. Man City, it seems like that's the only team we're afraid of. And I don't like that. Like you said, I want to go out and I want to see these guys battling. Like I expect physicality. We were slow. We were lethargic. We were kind of like nervy, like you put it. And I don't like seeing them play that, especially in a game of this caliber. But luckily we pulled out the draw. It's really all I can take from this is just I'm happy the way it turned out. I'm just not happy the way it started.
We're well aware Mohamed is fasting, as is Sadio, of course. But, Salah, that's 8 games now that we're going out and play. So I don't buy that as an excuse. I'll tell you what I did see there today, Steve. 2 teams that have the height of respect for the ability of the other.
Oh,
I hate that, though. Fuck respect.
No.
What would Roy Keane say? Nonsense.
No.
Respect isn't always a bad thing, though.
He absolutely wouldn't, though, Paddy. Respect doesn't mean that you sit off someone and let them play.
No, by the way, I do think Paddy's right. I think we were too respectful in the first half. But again, it's not necessarily always a bad thing.
But you don't forget, I mean, I think Gary Neville made the point in the first half, or was it Carrot? Starting slowly has been a theme for Liverpool in the last sort of 10, 15 games. We've not got off to those really fast starts that we, in seasons before. That's kind of died a death a little bit. And respect doesn't mean that you have to sit off someone and go, oh no, you play because you're too good. Respect just means that you understand what someone can do to you if you're not on your money. And I think with a team like City, you absolutely have to have a respect because that's the only way that you play with the urgency you need to perform. If you understand what's going to happen if you don't. And I think
true.
And I think, they did start, a bit timid, a bit nervous. Like Kyle says, Trent's first 2 or 3 passes were just all over the place. He was pretty nervous, and we didn't really get even after the goal. Before the equaliser, we sort of got 2 or 3 minutes of a little bit of possession, a bit of territory, and then after the goal again, we kind of sat off again, and he went back to giving the ball away really, really, really cheaply. So, the positive to that, I guess, is that obviously we fixed that at half time to a degree. And I'd be very surprised if we started the the cup semi-final next weekend in the same vein, because that's a whole, that's a whole different thing, isn't it? That's a whole different thing, because there can't be a draw. That's going to be
nobody wants
really,
extra time either,
really,
with a
really,
title
really,
race,
yeah,
European
really
games.
spicy. Yeah, and team changes are going to be interesting. I reckon there'll be some, and I reckon Diaz will play. I think, yeah, interesting.
Paddy, how do we feel with the introduction of Luis Diaz? I felt like he gave them something to think about anyway.
I reckon it was probably about 65 minutes too late, because he should have been on the team sheet at the start. I think Diaz deserved to start. He's our most informed attacker. I think it was imperative that he started. I thought he gave us something to think about, but again, we weren't too good in that when he came on, so he didn't really get many chances. We just didn't really find that final ball, so he didn't get to really show what he can do. But I think he should have started, as what I think Keita should have started. I think Diaz was one I thought really should have started it, because and that's Mane played great today. Mane played great. I would have played Mane through the middle, Diaz off the left, but whatever. I thought it was too late, but yeah, he's a great footballer, and as Steve says, he'll probably definitely start. I reckon he'll start Tuesday anyway, or Wednesday. Sorry, but yeah.
Don't think Mane was great. Don't think Mane was great first half. I know none of them were, but
no, not at all. Second half really, for sure.
I think the ball. I mean, Jota, other than the goal, did next to nothing first half either. The ball was Jota. The ball just kept coming back.
Yeah.
But that's a theme with Jota. When he starts, it almost seems like he's either non-existent or tapping in.
His movement's fantastic.
He can't hold on to the ball.
His movement's fantastic, but if you ping the ball into Bobby Firmino, for all the other areas that Jota is, arguably more effective, Firmino holds onto it and gets you up the pitch, doesn't he? And he's really good in those little tight areas. And
yeah,
it was the team sheet that I was expecting, to be honest, though.
Here's a question, gents. We know we've got another game against City coming up. What would you do differently? What would you do regarding the starting 11 or the tactics? What changes would you like to see Klopp make to maybe be a bit more proactive? As Steve said, there's a lot on the game, but it's going to be a decisive game one way or the other. Semi-final has to be resolved. So I'll come to you first, Steve. What, if any, changes would you like to see Klopp make ahead of that game?
I'd be amazed if Diaz didn't start. More than anything, given the fact these games are coming thick and fast, and you've got the Benfica game as well, and you've got to kind of keep it fresh, haven't you? So, Naby Keita, every chance he'll start. He doesn't like going into these big games though without his big players, does he? And I don't mean his big players as in the big performers. I mean his leaders. He likes these. I'd be surprised if Henderson didn't play. I'd be surprised if if Matip didn't play.
On midweek and not at the weekend.
I'd be surprised though. I'd be surprised. I don't know. Maybe.
Man,
I think Thiago and Fabinho are rock solid. But the game in midweek will tell us a lot, won't it? Because I think, if he brings in, I think he'll freshen it up, 2 or 3 changes max. Because I don't think it was so bad that you're looking at wholesale changes. 2 or 3, Naby Keita, Diaz, maybe one other somewhere else.
For you, Kyle, what changes would you like to see ahead of the FA Cup game?
So I think the tactical change, obviously we're still going to play the high line. It doesn't matter. But what we could do is we could be more progressive in the midfield by starting Keita. And I think that would maybe take some of the pressure off the fullbacks getting forward. And then we'll be somewhat less exposed in behind the fullbacks. I think if Man City decide to play the same way with a lot of switches into the channels near the sidelines. But I think you definitely have to start Keita, definitely mix it up in the front line. I think Diaz should start. I feel like you got to go Bobby. Maybe you put Mane in the center forward spot. He seems to be doing that a lot more recently, but I don't know. I think Bobby will start midweek. So will Henderson. And then you'll see some rotation for the cup game. The problem is like Pep is historically the one who will change tactics unnecessarily. But this is the first time where I've actually questioned, the way we played just because we were so exposed, especially in the first half. I think part of it comes down to nerves and, that kind of thing. But again, the tactics for us historically have been fine. It's just there's certain things you could tweak. Change a midfielder, but then if you change Keita for Hendo, Trent might not get that cover that he needs. So again, you're still exposed. So really, it just comes down to how are we going to mentally prepare for the game to go in there and not be so nervy. Hopefully it'll be because we're not playing from behind in a sense. Like we're not playing for points in a sense. We're playing in a cup. We're playing for a trophy. So maybe that'll change the mentality a little bit. But that's my opinion. Maybe change up the midfield and then start Luis Diaz.
Paddy?
Keita ahead of Henderson. Mane through the middle. Diaz off the left. And that's it. So Jota out, Diaz in, Hendo out, Keita in. I think that's our best 11 at the moment, in my opinion.
Steve, how does the title race end? What do you think the last 7 games has in store for us?
Oh, crikey. I honestly haven't got a clue. It's entirely possible that both teams win all 7 games, isn't it? Entirely possible.
And City have the easier running.
Yeah, they do. And
Wolves, West Ham, Villa. There's some tricky enough games there.
Yeah, there are. And we saw in the game against Palace. That was quite a similar game to some of the ones they got coming up, Wolves and West Ham and stuff. And they came unstuck. Oh, mate. I mean, who knows? Who knows? We just need to win our games, don't we? And then we see what happens. I feel like if we win our 7 games, we'll probably win the title. But that's a tough ask. That's a massive ask. But yeah, I think fair point there. But Konate has done ever so well when he's coming, hasn't he? But I think he'll probably play midweek. Yeah, mate. It is anybody's guess. Tell by my betting for the National and for the Masters that I know nothing about what's going to happen in sport.
It's yeah. I mean, I feel like, Kyle, there's a twist to be had left in this, and that could be made because I just don't want to be sitting here at the end of the season thinking about that handball against Everton. I just hope there's a twist somewhere to come.
It always seems like there's one play or one moment that we can pick out when the title race is close. It's like, if that would have happened, we would have won, right? I think, like Steve said, all we can do now is focus on us. We can't worry about what Man City are doing. We continue to do what we do best, and that's play football. That's play, Jurgen Klopp style football with the quality that we have. We're still one of the best teams in England, definitely one of the best teams in Europe. And although we have a harder run of games, we can still do it. I mean, all we need to focus on is us. Just play our game. If we're able to win all of our remaining games, I do think we'll come out on top. I think there's a very good chance, as we saw over these past couple days, anything can happen. Any team can pull away with a win. So that's all we need to do.
Paddy, I feel like you're a bit deflated today, my man. I fully expected a draw, and kind of, you know what, mate? I would have taken a draw ahead of the game because I do believe there's a twist to go. But where's your head at now?
I mean, I've been saying all week on the streams that I would have taken a draw before the game, and but just after watching that shit show, it was dejecting. Some of the stuff was just, it was tough to watch. I think, especially after watching the game, a draw, we'll definitely take a draw because we could have easily lost that game, and if we had lost that game, the title would have been done. It would have been over. Yeah, it's just, I don't know. City. I wish City weren't around. We really do push each other to the top levels. Like, City can go and play Southampton and lose, or Palace and lose, but when it's us against them, it's just the levels we both reach is phenomenal. And maybe barring a slap and start, we could have taken the result today. But listen, yeah, given the fact that where we were, it could be 14 points or whatever it was, and the fact that it's still there to play for, we're in a good position. City have the easier run in. I expect them to probably. I expect them to win every game up till the final day of the season against Stevie G's Aston Villa, and there's a script to be written there, and we can hope.
Mate, did you watch Villa yesterday? I'm holding out no hope for Villa.
They were. I thought they played kind of well.
They played all right first half, but they were on the beach second half. They chucked it in. They just weren't bothered.
I felt,
But-
Steve, like that game was a summarization of the title race as a whole. Always just a bit behind, always playing catch up, always on their shoulder, but never able to really break clear.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I see it just. I mean, we're 1 point difference, and 1 point is next to nothing. Yeah, we got a better goal difference. So that gives us the advantage if you get to that point. Look, it's 1 point in it. Everything to play for. We have to just win our games. We're a phenomenal team, but we're up against a really good one as well. And yeah, we just need to win our games. And I think I'm fairly confident that we'll win all 7 games. I don't see we're playing a lot of teams that are going to have nothing to play for. Tottenham is probably looking harder than it was looking 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Especially because they're looking like they're going to have something to play for now as well. But other than that, I can't see it. I mean, United and Everton at home, like they just roll over for everyone, don't they? Even each other almost.
Any kids going to the Liverpool United game, make sure you get one of those builder cases for your phone, because Ronaldo might have a cob on when he's walking off the end of the game. You want to protect these phones. They're not cheap these days. Kyle, to finish with a positive, mate, these guys went behind twice today and came back twice today, and that needs to be mentioned as well.
I'm glad you did mention that. Yeah. It still shows the mentality's there. We still want to fight back. I think what bothers me the most is the first half performance, but I still like the fact that even when we're behind, we don't crumble. I think that's what you need in a winning side, a team that's still fighting even when you go down. You stick to your game plan. And like I said, you point out those opportunities. We still took our opportunities when they were presented to us today, and it still required some skill. It wasn't really lucky. You could argue Man City's first goal was lucky. It seems like they always get something lucky to happen when they play us. Even if you look back to the previous match with the De Bruyne deflection, I was just like, oh, it's happening all over again. But yeah, I'm looking forward. Again, taking a draw. If you asked me before, I predicted a draw. I think the two teams are just too similar for one to pull out ahead, and I'll take that. And I'm still positive going forward. We still have a chance, and really that's all we needed.
I love it. We will leave it there, gents. Unless anybody has any final words of inspiration, maybe some advice on what I should definitely take away.
What are you going, Chinese or Indian? You going Chinese or Indian?
God,
what are you having?
Fish and chips. It's clearly is the answer here.
Well,
I don't think my stomach could cope with a Chinese.
There's not really too much advice you can give, then, can you? Is there?
Yeah. Barrett sausage, Greg. Garlic sauce.
I'd get fish and chips if I were you.
There you go. Look, I want to say thank you to Kyle. Kyle, what have you got coming up on Nothing But Reds?
I'm about to go look at how crazy I looked on my watch along for the goal reactions and edit that. That'll be fun. And then maybe some match previews coming up for the Benfica match, and just winding down, man. Maybe I'll have a shot of something here. I'm still elevated everywhere. Jesus.
And Steve, lovely to have you back on again. I believe we're going to be graced with your presence midweek.
Oh yeah, I said I would do that. Yeah, that's good. You reminded me. I was thinking, are you? Yeah, but yeah, it's good. You reminded me. Thank you. Yeah, thank you. Yeah. Looking forward to it. That'd be a good one.
Lovely to have you on, and as always, lots of love to the family. Mr. Murphy, you are on your travels for the Benfica game. You're over there for the second leg. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, can't wait. Looking forward to it. Hopefully, it should be routine enough. But my first ever Champions League game. So yeah, I'm buzzing.
Oh, cool.
I'm not buzzing about the fact that I have to play 40 games of FIFA at 8 p.m. tonight, but other than that, we're fresh.
I'll leave you to it then. Gentlemen, thank you. And thank you to our sponsors, Surfshark, as well. Don't forget, you can download it and get our 83% off and 3 months additional free with the link in the description. Thank you, Chris. No, he's not here. Fuck Chris. Thank you to Paddy. Thank you to Kyle. Thank you to Mr. Steve Bland. We love you, Chris. Money joking. And we will talk to you guys soon. Title race isn't over yet. Still all to play for.
Take it easy.